Let's go.
All right, everybody, welcome to Teaching Crypto. This is AZcrypto along with MrFOMO. Another big day, another big show. If you guys could do us a gigantic favor, please hit that like and most importantly, that subscribe button, as that helps us out as we march towards 700 and hopefully 1,000. And we could really use your help. It greatly helps us produce content, just like last night, MrFOMO, with a bonus episode about the Jasby token. So if you haven't had a chance to look at that,
thank you to the subscribers who we had some grateful subscribers who sent us tips last night through our little link there, the QR code in the top corner. So thank you very much to those folks who did that. It is greatly appreciated, and it helps the channel run a lot more smoothly.
Yeah. So again, anything you guys can do to help us is appreciated by 1,000,000%. Trust us. MrFOMO, today, as we wait for Litecoin to explode, it hasn't happened yet, I understand, because Bitcoin's kind of in this kind of boring phase between 30 and 31K. We're going to talk about that today, actually. We're going to talk about bull run best practices, the things that you have to do as we get started with the next bull run, because MrFOMO, a lot of people new to the space make mistakes, and it's easy to make those mistakes if you're not careful. So the first suggestion I want to make is buy when it's boring. And you might say, what do you mean when it's boring? Well, as you know, a couple weeks ago, and it's actually been 2.5 weeks now, we had that rise. Thank you, Woods. I appreciate it. We had that rise from 25, actually a little under 25K to 30K. People got pumped about crypto again. People were calling for 35, 40K. And some people bought Bitcoin at 31K or 30K. Not a bad buy at all. Not at all. But a lot of people bought alts then. Not horrible. But actually, the best time to buy is when it's boring. What do I mean boring? Right now, people are a little bit frustrated with Bitcoin because it's kind of accumulating. They're waiting for the next leg up or leg down. But here's the thing. It will eventually go up because we've started the bull run like we talked about. But the bull run is not all rainbows. What I mean by that, it's not day after day of green. And so sometimes when you're buying in the red, especially when it's days and weeks, and you're probably not going to get months of red during the bull run, although that did happen last time for about a couple months. We had a kind of a mini bear. Buying when it's boring is actually the best time because you're technically getting the best prices. Okay. So MrFOMO, what do you think about that first suggestion, buying when it's boring?
I'd even take it a step further. I say buy when people hate crypto. When people are saying that crypto is dead, buy then. Because there's always something that is, spreading fear in the market, FUD, as they say. But when those times happen, I say that's probably one of the most important times to buy. It's not necessarily the boring times, but the times when people are hating on crypto. Those are the most fun times to buy because then it makes you look like a genius when the market turns around, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah.
But you're right. As we're going up here, especially when we're going up, if you see levels where people are continuing to buy, like we're building strength at this level between 30 and 31. So you're right. This is a little bit boring right now. This is also a good time to DCA.
Absolutely. We'll talk about DCA. Wait, a quick question. Price prediction for HBAR. MrFOMO does not like to give price predictions. I'm a little more of a risk taker. So I'll give you one since you asked. HBAR right now is trading under 5 cents. All-time high, 45 cents. I think HBAR has a chance to get to the all-time high and higher. So we'll do a full HBAR episode later, but I'm gonna say right now, very conservative 60 cents. Very conservative. So I'll give you that.
I'm not gonna hate on HBAR. I was just talking to somebody about it today, and they have their own thing, right? A hash graph is different than a blockchain. And so I'm intrigued by that idea alone, that they're kind of doing something separate than what other cryptos are doing. And so that just by itself, I think, is important. They set themselves apart in that way. And I think I think that you're probably right. I think that they can get back above all-time highs, maybe even higher. I think you're probably being quite conservative on that.
Yeah, maybe I'll do a conservative price prediction show coming up because people are asking. So Carolina, really quickly, Carolina crew, XRP, it really depends on that lawsuit. That lawsuit feels like it's been going on forever. I mean, Mr. FOMO's kids, and my kids are not far behind, might be in college by the time that lawsuit is settled. So it's hard to say.
And when it is, if they cash in some XRP, if we buy XRP now and they cash it in, then they might be millionaires.
But here's the deal: if they win the lawsuit, you're looking at least minimum a 3 to 4x in a very short amount of time, is my opinion. That's a major if, though. So, great question. It depends on your opinion about that lawsuit.
And that's a fun rumor that pops up every 6 months or so. Oh, they're about
every 6 months. Is it like every month? There's supposed to be
they're about to end the lawsuit, and then it causes a little bit of pump, and then it falls back down. So we'll see.
XRP
is. But I think it's a good project. I think that they're just tied up with the SEC.
Yeah, if they win, what's going to happen then? It'll be listed again on places like Coinbase. So if they win, you could within a short amount of time see a 2 to 3x.
You're going to make some money.
Yeah.
I think that's a safe assumption is that once they win, if you're holding XRP, you're going to be in profits.
Yeah, and don't forget to take them. Now, avoid buying during pumps. It's exciting when Bitcoin starts pumping. And your first instinct is to jump into the market. But the problem is there are people that are waiting to take profits on those big jumps. So remember we talked about buying when it's boring. You don't want to FOMO in, especially during the alt season. When an alt is running, a lot of people are like, oh my God, H-bar is running. It just ran 90% over the last 4 days. Let me get in. And then next thing you know, there's a huge drawback. And the thing is, we talk about this, Mr. FOMO. It's not necessarily what you buy all the time. It's when you buy it is just as important.
Well, that's why I took this sort of stage name, right, is because I learned that quite the hard way. You know, I jumped in on the FOMO train quite a few times, and I can't tell you how many times I got burned on it. But the good news is in crypto is that it usually comes back around, and those buys didn't really burn me for too long. Mm-hmm. But you're right. You buy during pumps, you chase pumps, you're going to feel it for a little bit.
Yeah, there's definitely a way to contact. We'll put our emails underneath the show description, Carolina. Definitely. Take profits first and celebrate second. So I was really bad at this. Well, I remember I had mana and it went up, Mr. FOMO, almost 100% in 4 days. And I remember sharing a screenshot and not taking profits. Never that again.
I think to some extent everybody in the market they have a story where they didn't take profits in time. You know, I think it's something that we all share. I don't think too many people should kick themselves.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's best to push that button and buy and then share.
Be more willing to take profits than to wait on profits, right?
Yeah. So you can send all those. You can send all those text and emojis and screenshots, but maybe do it after you've
make sure you swipe first, right?
Because
make sure you
talked about
those funds.
What you're celebrating are not actual profits; they are kind of a gamification of the profits. What do you mean by that?
So once you sell, unless it gets to your bank account, unless it gets to your USDC, unless you are creating the financial freedom that was your goal in the beginning, then you've just gamified your investments, right? Like you're just playing a game on your phone. Well, you might as well be playing an investment app that's just a game and rewards you in random weird, tokens from that, that
and it's
company.
Easy to get caught up in that, right? It's easy to get caught up.
It's super easy. It's so easy that's one of the things like the SEC and some of the other lawsuits will cite against FTX and Celsius and Voyager when those come around, is that they sort of gamified investing. But to me, it's as an investor, as an adult, you have to make sure you don't fall into that. Make sure that you're taking those profits. You're not just playing Candy Crush on your phone, right? You're not crypto crushing on your phone all day.
Now, DCA when you can. DCA, if you're new to the crypto space, is dollar cost average. And so I'll give you guys a personal example. I've been DCing. I haven't been silent about this. I've been honest into Litecoin recently. And instead of putting all my money, my investment money into the 97 range, by putting a little in at 97, I was able to catch it very early in the morning. Don't ask why I was up at 4 o'clock in the morning and catch a 91 and 92 buy. And so then my dollar cost average is much lower. So instead of throwing everything in at once and saying, okay, I'm buying everything at 97 or 98, I was able to get a better average by doing a little bit here, a little bit there. Now that can backtrack on you if the thing flies and you're trying to do a quick flip, obviously. So it's not always, you want to be careful. There's no way to time it exactly, but DCAing allows you to kind of save yourself if there is a pullback, Mr. FOMO.
Well, and I think DCAing, when you can, also refers to the idea that not everything is going to run at the same time, at the same pace. Most things will run with Bitcoin, but you're going to see a lot of things. You're going to see a lot of your favorite tokens, outpace Bitcoin at certain points. And it's important that you understand that you don't have to take profits across the board, and you don't have to wait for profits across the board. If you've got one that's running, take profits on that one, wait for the other ones to run. But make sure that you're getting paid for your time that you're spending in this market.
Yeah. And the next one, I think, might be the most important one, even though we have it number 5. Don't expect the good times to last forever. Guys, I'm talking about the short term and the long term. So, Luna, I'll give you my example. I was up big. I showed Mr. FOMO my portfolio, and he said, swipe that thing. And I eventually did, but not at the top. And lost a lot of gains by not doing it that way. And remember, guys, we are probably going to see another bear market, despite what everyone's going to tell you about this being a super cycle. And this is changing. We've heard that before last cycle.
The cycle's broken.
These tokens take their time, right? Litecoin right now might be great. In a couple of months from now, it might not be the best option. There might be another token. There'll be a time where HBAR is a great option. There'll be a time where Cardano might be a great option. There'll be a time where Engine might be a great option. And so everyone kind of takes their turn. Bitcoin might be stagnant. All of a sudden, in one day, Avalanche goes up 50%. Don't expect it to keep going and going and going. It may, but if you don't take profits, what you end up risking is, Mr. FOMO, sometimes for our new viewers during the bull market, Bitcoin itself will have a major drawback for a week or two, or even we saw a mini bear for a couple months. And so your profits might completely go away. You might be up 60, 70%, and you might see almost all of it go away within weeks or days.
Right. And that's where it pays off, right? You clear that 60% or some of that 60% off the board. And I know what some of you are thinking, well, it's real easy to say I'm going to take profits here, but then it pumps after that and you miss out on all those other profits. If you think that's going to happen, leave yourself a moon bag, leave yourself what you originally invested, leave yourself something in there if you think it's going to keep going, or if you just want to leave something in there to come back and DCA later, but make sure you take a little bit off the table for yourself.
And what some people do is they take off their initial investment and leave what they've gained. And then that way, in their mind, they can't lose. Now, that's an okay method, but I'm going to tell you, be careful. Because, for example, if Cardano, if you left everything in at $3 and you haven't sold since, guys.
Oh, yeah, you got host. Right.
Under 40 cents.
But I think the flip side of the coin here on number 5 is don't expect the bad times to last forever either, right? If you bought it Cardano at 3, but you believe in it and you've been DCAing all the way down, and the market has turned around now, don't expect this to last forever. You've actually done some good work on the way down here. Now the times that hard work will pay off as we're moving forward. So I think there's also a flip side to that. And then I want to add one more thing to this. I think before any of this, you've got to come into the market with a plan. How are you going to set up your portfolio? What things are you going to attack? What categories of the market are you going to examine? Are you going to include in your portfolio? You can get carried away really easy with your buys sometimes, and then you'll look at your portfolio and you'll go, holy cow, I'm 70% Web3 or I'm 70% DeFi. You don't want to end up in that situation. You want to end up in a situation where you've got a balanced portfolio, because sometimes those categories will run too. And again, you also want to have that stability from coins that are in the top 10, those blue chips, especially Bitcoin and ETH. But I think the most important thing you've got to do is, with all that research you've done now in this this bear market, this off season that we've had, now put it to work. Now is the time to start to load those cannons for blast off, right? And you've done all the research, put together a plan, work your plan, and remember, your plan is fluid, right? As you begin to take profits, as the market begins to take shape, you may have to adjust your plan to fit the market. You know, the last time we were in the market, we were poo-pooing the meme coins all the way through, and we probably missed out on a lot of profits by not really jumping in on the meme coin train. And so that's an important lesson too, is to have a plan, but not only that, to let your plan remain fluid and adjust as the market moves forward.
Yeah. And so remember also, and I had this, don't be too hard on yourself, right? You got to remain positive, because if you are upset and constantly angry, it's going to keep you from really be able to concentrate and making good decisions
right.
as well.
That's
And
one
we're not
thing.
financial.
That's one thing I learned from playing baseball, is the best players have the shortest memories, right? You're working hard, you're doing the research, you're still a genius, you're still in this way before a lot of other people. So don't be too hard on yourself. You are still way ahead.
And guys, remember, we are not financial advisors, but we're trying to do the best we can to give you guys a leg up,
lot of research,
especially if you were caught up in Voyager and trying to recover, or even if you're brand new, you weren't into Voyager. Please share this channel with everyone you can, even if they're not into crypto. Maybe you can get them in. Who knows? So please remember to hit that subscribe button and share the show with everybody. For Mr. FOMO, this is AZcrypto, guys. We'll be producing more and more content throughout the week. Have an excellent day, everybody. We'll see you later.